If you want to learn how to quiet your mind, this video is for you. So right now you might be experiencing a lot of thoughts, all sorts of things. It could be positive, it could be negative, it could be reminding you of something, it could be whatever. I want you to first just acknowledge that, okay, these are thoughts. Just take a step back, take a deep breath first. And do that a couple of times. What you do when you breathe is that you use your focus on something else. What you focus on grows. This is very important to know. So even if the thoughts seem like they're happening to you and they seem overwhelming, it's just because you've paid attention to it or those types of things for way too long, and it's become a habit. So it's good to know why it has happened, because knowing why it has happened, then you know what you need to do to fix it. So right now, just acknowledge that the reality of the situation, if you're thinking too much or you're too much in your head, you've just used that sense too much. You've given too much power, let's say, to the thoughts, or to other people's thoughts, or to energy thoughts, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter if it's a certain person talking to you, or if it's an energy speaking to you through a thought. Maybe this is a bit tricky to believe in at first, but that's what ideas are. We are just getting information from another being that is seeing more than us. Energy is everywhere. But let's not get too caught up in that. Just try it on. Just try it on for size and see how it fits. That energies are like people. Thoughts, treat them the same way as you would treat a person. That's one thing. Because they're the same in terms of how to deal with the energy. So if they seem intrusive, so depending on what that is, you can start to determine what you need to inject. So if they're critical, you know that, okay, I'm getting a critical something from the outside, knowing that what's from the outside is a mirror, right? What's on the outside is a mirror to what's going on in the inside. So the inside, if you are critical and you're not paying attention to that, you can see that reflected. So there is some investigation that could happen. But just to quiet the mind, all you need to do is not give it attention. I know that sounds a bit too simple, but it is really that simple. So if you have thoughts going on and just they don't leave you alone, have one sentence you can say. I'm not going to do this now. No, I'm not going to do this now. And just say that to these energies as if they were thoughts. As if they were people, right? Because obviously they're thoughts. What you can also start to do is to start to just ask, does this have anything to do with me? You can start to commune, because many people have been taught that the energy world or the fantasy world is not real. It's more real than what you think it is. Because our imagination creates. It creates thought forms. When you focus on something, it creates. So when someone is focused on something that they don't want, it creates. You're very powerful. But all you have to do is just change your focus. That's all that needs to happen. So whatever you're doing that is producing a lot of thoughts, make sure that you introduce some activities in your day that counteract that. And that could be exercise. And I know many people have experienced this, that when I exercise, then it just stops. And then when they go back into whatever it is that they're doing, it comes back. Know that it's still an energy. You can work with that energy and master. Actually, when you create more boundaries within yourself, you will also create more boundaries towards those energies. So if you're feeling a lot, if it's overwhelming, and what you feel is what determines that, right? If you feel overwhelmed with it, then it's good to start to embody some of your power so that you get to stand up for yourself. Those types of energies. Watching movies that will be more towards standing up for yourself, or videos that will be more empowering, will be very beneficial for you. Because there is a force. If you have convinced yourself that you're not powerful for some silly reason, why would you do that? You're very powerful. You're so powerful that you can choose to keep focused on these thoughts and you will not get out of it. The only thing that will get you out of it is by you developing enough oomph inside, power, to actually stand up for yourself. Because these things, it doesn't matter if they're people or if they're just thoughts in your head. They're still the same intrusive. And the energy that combats them are the same. More belief in yourself and more boundary towards making space for what's you. And one practice to do that is by going to do exercise. Because it is your will to push on through. And so motivational things can help with this. Making more space in your space. Meditating. Making sure that you focus in, use a different sense. Feel your body. Because we have different senses. The system have different senses. So if you're just using the mental capacity and listening only there, that's going to be what you hear predominantly. But you can train your system, your body, to operate more from the hearing. More from the hearing. Everyone hears, not everyone, but most people hear, see, smell, taste. All of those are senses. The thoughts, I would call that a sense. It's just that we're predominantly there. We're not meant to be predominantly there receiving information so much. That world is a little bit in balance, right? Because of all the technology and stuff like that. So it's good to make sure that you know what is your thoughts and what is other people's thoughts or other energies' thoughts. What is the difference between an energy thought form that comes from your parents or your grandparents, or what is coming from your school system, and making sure that you are operating out of your own free will so that you know that what's you, who are you, what's your thoughts. Mastering these things will get you there. Mastering your energy. So use your hearing and just pay attention, even if it's chatter going on. Just listen to the birds. I know it sounds simple, but using a different sense, feel the body. That is very beneficial. You, with your attention, you can scan your body and you can feel things inside your body. It's a whole different landscape to do that. And it doesn't require you to use your mind. It requires you to use another sense, which is feeling, which you can develop. You can develop to operate differently. It is your choice to do with these bodies what you can to enhance certain abilities. Or if there are certain things that you don't like, you can diminish certain things or just ignore, focus on something else that you really enjoy. Make sure that you have those things in check. Like, do things every day that you enjoy. Do things every day that you enjoy. Some things are routine. I get it. If you have a goal and some things, and you do certain things, but just learn to love it because you've just dedicated yourself to it because you want to master something. That could be you. But if you're just doing things out of what you're told, it's not going to fulfill you. It's not going to be that. So find that. Because once you find that and you use your focus on that to enhance that, whatever that is, that energy that you're producing is more than anything. More than anything. Your focus, connected to your belief, can literally move mountains. What you focus on grows. The good things or the bad things, whatever you focus on. You can focus on opening up your consciousness. You can focus on enhancing your skill set. As a spiritual being, it's trainable. Everything is trainable. It's just most people are not taught that you can train in these things. You can train your psychic abilities. Everything can be trained. So, if you have a lot of thoughts, that does mean that your psychic abilities are on and working. But you need to just learn how to manage it better. And that starts by managing yourself, managing your energy. Once you can manage your own energy and you know what's you and you know what's not you, you can start to develop yourself as a human. But that's the first step. Distinguishing between who you are, what your energy is, what is all these other things going on in my body, what does this feeling mean, what does that feeling mean. All of these are important to know if you want to develop in consciousness, so that you can finally see things for what they are and actually deal with them. And it is a habit to get out of the head. It's a habit and it needs to be replaced with something else. Either your love and devotion for something, or just your love for just being here. Just be here. Just learn to be okay just being in your own body. No matter what happens outside. Develop a different frame of reference towards what reality really is. Because if you develop belief that a different belief, like if you develop a different way of thinking about reality, that will become manifest to you, unless you have a lot of opposing forces around you. But that is part of it, because wherever we start from, we will have opposing forces. Because what is opposing forces? Those are just the status quo, the energies that don't want us to change, because they get fed energetically by us and our focus on it. That's how they get fed. The question is, what are you feeding? And what for? Is it out of automatic? Do you feel like you're a bad person if you don't pay attention to this person? Those things are important questions. Do you really want to? So, training to do something else. Replace those thoughts with something else. And you have to repeat something else for long enough for it to become a habit. And developing more space in your space takes practice. But I know you can do it. I know you can do it. It's easy. Maybe not from that perspective, but it takes some practice, but it can be done because I've done it. I know that it can be done. I hope this helped you. If you have any other questions when it comes to this, please let me know. And if you like my videos, maybe you can check one of my other videos. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.